This one right here is a banger. I love you all. Let's go. 10 minutes to countdown. Let's rock it out. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Hope you're not getting spanked out there. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's get that music back up and running. Appreciate each and every one of you. Bitcoin bouncing back to 68,200, catching the shorts a bit off guard here. We're going to take a look and see what's happening. Is this a real bounce or just a little quick move back up to suck in some more longs before we go lower? Let's find out right away for you, so you can stay on top of the markets every single day. Shout out to you and yours. Hope your family's doing well. My name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show daily. We go over Bitcoin, total market cap, Bitcoin dominance, S&P futures. Take a look at the NASDAQ here and there. Also, we're going to take a look at Ethereum today. Big, can we get the Ethereum drop on that ETF? What's going to happen? Is the news coming out? Are we going to get a nothing burger? Is it baked in? There's a lot to talk about. For me, it's not baked in. Ethereum is starting to get a bit of a roll on, and it's all about the charts. So I'm going to show you the charts. We're going to forget the news. If the charts suggest the pump is coming, then that's what happens. If the charts don't, vice versa. So we're getting some big red here. Starting to brew up here. Let's take a look here. Bitcoin's getting a bit of a reversal back to the upside. If you're with me last night, I opened up a trade. Yes, I did. If you can believe it, I woke up in the game. Then this morning, I'll show you exactly what I did. I was watching a flag here. First, I saw this first of all, the 1 minute last night was bearish. And I'll show you why. I just want to kind of take you through kind of how you could have seen the bear wah, right? Anyway. So last night, when I looked at price action, and again, this happened while I'm asleep mostly, but shoulder, head, right shoulder, right, in my humble opinion, somewhat bearish. Had a bit of a neckline, it then broke down. But when I looked here on this side too, I saw kind of a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, right? And when I zoomed into this, you even had kind of a bit of a double top M pattern here, right? And you broke down, came back up, and look, shoulder, head, right shoulder to the upside, right? It's crazy. It did get that move to the upside, and then we got this tight price action. So this is what I did, which was interesting, all right, is I was in the trade from the night before, down, earlier than here, so I was up in the trade at this point, despite all the weirdness. And then I saw the 7 minute begin to flag. And even though it did look like a head and shoulder to me, I'll be honest, but it also looked like a bit of a flag. And what I did is I doubled down into my trade the second we broke above the 200 MA, because that's one of my signals. We pumped up here. I was up like 150, 160. I felt like, you know what? I'm just going to take it at this point, and I took the trade. And then what happened is it came down again, and I got a little frisky, and I entered a trade again here. Sorry. Maybe like on this flag here. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did because I opened it. But anyway, I lost the trade is the point. But the stop loss was right there. And as we started to lose the 200 SMA on the 15. Oh, yeah, this is what I did. Sorry. Because I was like, I used the 15 minute to open up my next trade. And we opened up here. So I just put an open here with a stop right below the 200 MA. The second we hit that, we got stopped out. And then, my signal is to, short when you lose the 200 SMA. I didn't switch into a short immediately. I'll be honest. I don't do that a lot. I don't get out of a trade and flip right short. I've done it, maybe 20, 30 times in my life, but it's not something I'm quick to do. Depending. I mean, if I don't have the show coming up and I'm sitting there alone, maybe, I'm more apt to do something like that. But I also have the show to do, things to prepare for, things I want to talk about and go over with each and every one of you, things that matter to me just as much as the charts I think that I want to discuss too. And there's just the show is so important to me. Anyway, but it could have been a good short. No excuses. I could have taken money down on that short. Losing the 200 SMA is a great place to short the market. If I jumped out of the long, why not short, And we took a nasty dump to the downside here for Bitcoin. Okay? And again, my signal tells you, I knew to get out of that long super, super quick. And I lost $46. I showed it to my trading group. I considered it a win. When you lose, like most people getting wrecked, losing tons of money. And that's not the case. So here, we put the lemon into the water. Stay blessed every single day. Oh, I went and got plants yesterday. Put a bunch of beautiful plants all around the house and around the pool. It looks, I'm telling you right now, I can't wait. It looks beautiful. I definitely want to show family and friends what's going on. I should definitely wear my glasses. It helps me see the charts a little better. It helps my eyes get less tired. Casper Coin Pamping, much love, friend. Bang, bang, bang. Shout out to everybody here. Guys, what will happen if I change leverage at open trade? Nothing too much. It'll look different on the perspective, but it really is what you got in there at. So look, we got some big orders kind of building above us all the way to 68,500 for Bitcoin. Let's break down and see what's happening on the daily, on the weekly, and then bring ourselves back in and hone in on what we're seeing right now. There might be a beautiful trade for us to make. There may be some volatility for us to exploit. Only time, like yesterday, it started off interesting, and then we ended up getting an amazing move. So, like, you never know what's going to bring, what's going to happen. But what we can do is say, you know what, we're ready. We're educated. We've done our technical analysis. We know what's up, and we already have a plan in our minds that's ready to plan a trade. If we see something that's worth taking, we'll examine it, look at it, and break it down. And only take it if there's probability and somewhat of a pattern or something worthwhile to trade, right? We're not just going to trade because we feel, want, believe, think, or want to do, you know, that's all emotional talk. We're grown people here. We don't do that, all right? But look, weekly still looks pretty bullish to me, despite this pullback on the weekly chart, you know. And again, all I really care about is a weekly close above 67,200. I'll take a weekly close right here. I don't love this candle. I wouldn't like to see that much wick on my candle, but it is what it is for now, right? We did break out. Is it a bull trap? It could be. Is it a lower high? Do we come back down and make a nasty dump? Anything is possible in this game. I want you to understand that. You're never safe. You know, the second you think you're safe, you're not safe. So never think you are. Always think that anything could happen. Always protect the position. Take some profits out when you feel. And if it's your last, you know, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was down to my last and it was all I had, I'd always be taking some profits out if I got up, because you could be left with nothing. You know, I'm just being honest. You always have to be careful in the markets. All right. I learned how to do flags here, and I saw it was going down. Got it right at the spot. God bless you. Your respect for time is a prediction of your financial future. Amen. It's funny he says that, because I didn't make tons of money back in the day, and I wasn't like the biggest business dude. And I had in my mind, I had all these ideas, and I always had somewhat of a business going on and I was dreamed too, and had plans in my mind. But you know, I wasn't like always on it per se. But I always truly respected my time. You know, like if I got two jobs and one paid more, but one was further away, I took the job that paid less, that was closer to my house, that gave me a better commute. I always thought about, because I said, well, that takes up too much of my time on the train. And I don't care about like one was 80 grand, one was 60 grand, or one was 70 grand, one was 80 grand, you know. Other people would say, I'll take the higher paying job and I'll take the train. To me, money was never that important to me. And as I grew, I started making more and more decisions based off how I felt about myself and the world around me, and less about the money that it gave me. You know, and then I learned, and then I began that hate money phase. I think that most people go through at this stage. They go, I hate money. I hate this society that we have to use money to get ahead. And, you know, I wish we could just, you know, they have us all trapped and I have to, you know, I've been there. I remember saying that before for like a couple years at a time. I can't stand this, because I had a bad relationship with money. So I slammed anything about money. You know what I mean? Oh, this sucks. This society sucks. You know, why do I have to do this? You know, I remember being like that, you know, and then I realized that I needed to change how I looked at everything, and changed how I looked at money, and my relationship with money needed to change. And I realized it wasn't really money. It was my relationship with everything in the world. Money was just a form of energy. It was just another piece of this world. I needed to change myself. And once I changed myself, and I'm still working, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and nobody is. I think we're all a work of art in progress, inside and out. But the idea is, I realized that I had to work on those internal feelings about how I looked at the world, and just become, you know, make it more habitual to be more positive. Like turn my ability to be positive into a habitual state of life at all times. And just always be happy, always be positive, always be moving forward in my mind, you know. If anyone sees they hate money, it means they care too much about money and too little about the reason for needing it. Shout out to Jamie Zeno, the philosophical man in the world. God bless you, brother. Expect even bigger green candles to wreck short soon. Shout out to Samano. Anyway, so here we are at 67,863, getting humbled to the downside here for Bitcoin. Let's move forward quickly so we can get into Bitcoin. The 3-day chart looking bearish, as we said before, when it just started coming red. And this chart now closes in 9 hours. This candle closes in 9 hours. It's a big close, right? So that's what you get on Thursday night is a candle close. And apologize to anyone who misses the screen share tonight. I did screen share last night. I had to move it to Wednesday night in preparation for things for tomorrow. What do you think it's called? Wife changing money. Oh, yeah, right. Philanthropists and entrepreneurs. Maximum voltage on the likes. Thank you, Crypto Surfer in the game. Sir, I feel sorry for the ones who bought above 70K. Amen. Amen. So if this candle closes as such, I mean, it's not the most bearish thing in the world, but it is bearish. You know, look for your 21-day moving average, which is pretty close in the 3-day chart, which to me isn't too bad. These are somewhat far apart, but not collapse level heavy. Still, you never know. And it is a triple top at the present moment in time with resistance at 72. Let's see. I just want to see where these candles actually closed. This one closed at, I remember the high was, 72,777. So weird. So resistance at 72,777s. It is. I can't make this up. See, open, high, low, and close. 727770. Insanity, right? The daily chart's super overbought, and eventually, the daily, if you read the daily said I'm overbought and I need to come back. And I'm away from the 21-day moving average. So I was hoping for the 4-hour to help us and just bounce, but we didn't get that, right? This morning it looked like we would, and I've seen it happen, so that, I played it just in case, but very close to the bone. And so I know what moving averages tell me when to jump out. See, the dump happens on the smaller time frames. People don't realize this. When Bitcoin began to dump, it began dumping on the 1 minute, and it began losing the 200 MA first. That was your first sign of a dump peasy. And then look, shoulder, head, and right shoulder. And then what is this? It's like an M. This is a messy pattern. We're going to look at it, kind of trying to do that cup and handle with a higher low, though. To the upside now. It's attempting to pull in, make a flag. It did get the moving averages pulled apart. That usually is, that's turtle. That could be some turtle soup. If you turtle soup this right here at the 786, you're you're a legend. Like, that's a legend move right there. A chance we get the Sammy Cup in handy back to the 200 SMA, clear through the gap right here. There's a chance. This is what we see almost every day here on the channel. It's called, I guess I'll just call it what it's called. The Woody Harrelson. The Kingpin. Call it Kingpin. The Kingpin. Woody Harrelson in Kingpin. No, but, it's affluent to the money printer. Maybe a few subtle differences without, a fair value gap or whatnot. But, you can see, look, there's your fair value gap between these two wicks. You come into it. See, wick to wick here, had I shown it earlier, but that was your fair value gap. You see that wick barely doesn't touch there. We went into the fair value gap. We bounced. And it has resemblance of an inverted head and shoulder. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Could be a possible daily bottom on Thursday with lower liquidity. I want to take a look at our RSI and see if we're getting in any bullish div there. And we got some strong bullish divergence. So that's setting up perfectly for a bounce back to the 200 MA, somewhere to the $69,100 region. And it could take all day slowly to get there. And I'm not saying it's guaranteed at all. Like, this could dump in my face in 1 second. I know nothing but the fact about ignorance. I'm just showing you something that I've seen happen, play out over time. All right. But anyway, I jumped ahead, and that's usually not the best. And right now, we have what I find is the local resistance at 68.2. I'd be cautious to open along until we break above that, right? And be more into a short unless we break back above 68 too. But let me get back to where I was on the daily time frame. So the daily now looks like it wants to close the gap all the way to its 21-day moving average, which is likely. And we pull a fib here on the daily. And I pull from this impulse wick here, and it tells me, we could be meeting somewhere at back at 65,000 again. And I thought we were done with this $67K and $65,000 region. Like, I'm done with you. I want to get back into 70K and be on our way. But now you can see 3 days of red, even though it seems like we've had, it's weird, right? But Monday was a beautiful pump. Tuesday red, Wednesday red, and Thursday will be red again, and eating through the entire pump we made on. A good support or resistance hanging out, if we bring it right here on the daily, right there at 67,100. I'd love to see 67,000 hold. Sorry, I don't want to move that line. I'd love to see 67,000 hold. Do I see a trade right now? It could be a possible continuation short to the downside. So the daily just getting started with a bearish move to the downside here on the stochastics, and they were overbought. If we got a pump, it was going to pin the daily. We were, it was getting, the daily's been cooking since 60,000. We've had a beautiful run. Time to kind of rejoin. I was a little obsessed there on the 4-hour, hoping the 4-hour would give us the bounce. But very similar to how you move. So when I move long, I wait for the 1 minute to break the 200 MA, and then I move through, right? 15 minute, I go long again or stay long. 1 hour, 4 hour, and then 8 hour, and you know what I mean? You continue to get above. The same thing when I go short. I look for the price action on the 1 hour to come back to the, first we pump. It comes back to the 21. You lose the 21. Then you look for the 4 hour to touch the 21. If you lose the 21 on the 4 hour, you look for the 8 hour to touch the 21. If you lose the 8 hour, right, then I really accelerate. You can look at the 12. Then I start saying, hey, well, it looks like we could be coming to the daily 200 MA. And really, you have to come to whatever time frame you're on. And to be completely honest with you, to get a bull run or any type of big leg up in any run, we need the 200 above all the moving averages. Right here before the run, the 200 was below the 200. We need, here too, we had the 21. I'm sorry, the 21 was below. And see here, the 21 isn't the top dog right now. Until the 21 is above all the moving averages, you're not ready for your next big, it's not going to be a huge leg up yet. So that's one thing to consider too. And that's one thing I know to be true. So we need the 21 to cross the 50 and the 80. So a little bit of a slight pullback here wouldn't be bad. Retest previous support as resistance at 66.9, 67,000. A break below 67,000 would get me a little more cautious that we'd have to be testing 65 and then maybe 63,000 again. What we really don't want to ever see is a break back inside of this falling wedge, either of these two falling wedges, right? But for now, we don't have to go there per se, just yet. And we start losing multiple 200 MAs, like we lose the 8 hour, the 22, the 12. Like we're not bearish unless if we lose that, then we start looking for the daily 200 MA. Then we start talking again about 52, 53,000. So you always have to be on watch and on guard for the move that you don't think is going to happen every single time. You can never just be like, oh, it's going to be one way and I'm good. The worst thing you can do in trading, in my humble opinion. All right. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice. You got to do your own due diligence. I'm giving you just kind of what I've seen in the markets for a long time. I've been trading for many, many years. I'm 41 years old. A lot of what I teach and tell you is what I've seen to be true over time. Concepts that I've fallen upon over just being in the markets for a long period of time. I'm just like, oh man, I never noticed that. And now I see it. How about S&P liquidity pools dying out? You'll be okay, Carlos. Don't worry about that. Coinbase live in New York for XRP. I like that. I'm with your friend, Leverage DGen. Shout out to everybody here and shout out to Master Friend taking over the chat. I like to see it. Master Friend is the man. I love Master Friend. And he's you know what? He's a man of duty. All right? And that's what I have to say. I don't like to talk up people too much, because good people don't need to be talked up. You'll find out who they are over time, right? But my man, Master Friend, man, my man Jay, Leverage Master, 2-hour video class. You got to watch that class. It'll change your life. $300. And then he also does 3 or 4 weekly mentoring sessions a week. He's going to do live streams, talk to you, kind of go over your trades, talk about your demo account, what you're doing. Just have a little more, watchful eye over what you're attempting to do here. What are your real goals? Where's your mentality at? And that's if you hit the QR code, hit the link below. That's also added if you jump on into my trading group. It's an added feature to the trading group. Shout out to Fidel R. Escobar. Fidel has been a lifer for a long time. He deserves to be raised to the rafters as an OG from back in the days. So, add a Celtic or Himalayan salt to your water plus lemon. Thank me later. Yes, I do that. Thank you. Not every time, but yes, Himalayan water salt is good to the water. It's just better for alkalinity, 100%. And it's good for it's just better for hydration overall. Master Friend, the GOAT, Lifer Adam. Friend, are you a Canucks fan? So anyway, Bitcoin on the daily looking bearish, oversold on the stochastics RSI. Looks like it could come further to the downside here for Bitcoin. Level that we're watching, like stochastics want to reset. And that tells me Bitcoin's likely coming to this 618 Fibonacci level to 65,008. It just, the strength of those, unless we can get a bend, which can happen, anything can happen. But right now it's not looking, too likely. Let's look at our 22, which has been known to bounce. And our 22, the go-to ever since there was a time when Bitcoin's daily never hit a low. I'll show you here. I learned my lesson. I'll always remember this, and I can remember it enough to show you. So here, see how Bitcoin here just bounced and the daily never went low? But if you went to the same area on the 22, right, you'll see that it did hit a low. Now, this might mean nothing to you if you're a beginner, but if you've been watching with me, and so I've learned to trust the 22-hour time frame. See how the stochastics hit the bottom every time, but the daily did not. The daily kind of did these, you weren't sure what it was going to do. It was hard. It's hard to play the daily when it goes in the middle like that, and it confused a lot of people. It really did, because they weren't used to seeing that. And so I switched to the 22 at that point, saw something different, and began engaging more and more with the 22-hour time frame. Thanks for all you do every day. Can we check FAT on the 4-hour and the daily? What's most bullish case for it? Not financial advice. What's the father time? Look, interesting that NVIDIA earnings didn't pump the AI coins. The movement, the earnings call started, all the AI coins dumped. It could come later on too. XRP is pumping. Let's go, baby. That's also kind of a news thing. You just got to look at the chart. Like if Bitcoin's dumping, the rest of the market's probably going to have some trouble that day. Celtic salt is the best. Thank you. Would you long Bitcoin in this dip? XRP is not pumping. Funny. 67,800 for Bitcoin. So the 22-hour starting to get low, but still has a little more legs to the downside. Could we get a bounce on the 22 and save that daily? It could happen. 8 hours getting extremely oversold, hitting the 21. And the 4-hour just in a bearish engulfing candle, taking this market to the downside. Does the 4-hour bounce here off the bottom of this channel? Looks kind of like a twisted head and shoulder pattern that, shoulder, head, and shoulder kind of slanted, but and to me, you lost the pattern too, like the pattern drop. At that point, you can take the measured move of the back end of the falling wedge to see where you would go. And I'm just starting to see, obviously the resistance. So I'm looking for this level to hold, 67.4. And if that doesn't hold, I'm looking for this level here at 65.9, 66,000. So those are the two levels that I'm watching closely today for Bitcoin that we're likely going to get close to or touch, you know. It's okay, baby. Okay, you want to have this? You can play with that, my love. It's just a cool towel to keep you cool in the hot sun. I love you. So we bounced off the 200 MA here on the 1 hour. You know, I was expecting that. I told my students, like, once we started to drop here, if you're in my trading group, I said, let's look, you know, the next area that we should go to is the 200 MA. All right. So look, like, so I was saying, look, we're likely going to dump now. See, this is, once I draw a channel, top channel, bottom channel. And I've learned that once you get rejected by the 200 SMA on the 15 and the point of control at the same time, see that? That's like a screaming short. And then you're likely to drop to the bottom of the channel. Now, I didn't give a perfect short on that. I didn't, but I knew where price action was likely going to go because I've been doing this for a long time and I see it happen. So this was likely going to drop down to the 200 MA, right? So that's, I put that out at about 8:51 in the morning, right? Now I dip out the long right here. We start to dump further down and it looks like we're going to hit the target. Once you hit the target, you now know you're going to come to the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame. Now you're hoping for the bounce off the yellow line. And that's kind of where we are now. All right. See? And that's why we, you know, if you didn't use the 200 MA, you'd be like, oh yeah, we bounced off support or resistance, which we kind of did. You could use the wicks, I guess. To me, it's a little lower. It's more finite down at 64.4. I mean, 67.282. And that was my key level. Like, I really wanted to see us hold a weekly candle above 67.2. So far, we are, right? So far, we're still bullish by that thesis. But it's not, it doesn't look amazing, right? We would need a V-shaped recovery back to the upside, turn this into a shoulder, head, right shoulder. So what's our bullish scenario for the day? And now we get into the nitty-gritty and the reversals and the 1 minute time frame, and we don't know where we're going to go now. And that's where the rabbit hole begins on the live stream, okay? And that's why every day when we hit 2 is a blessing day. Like yesterday was an awesome day on the live. Like we just couldn't miss. We were just hitting all day long. And we rode that ride. But what goes up must come down, in my humble little opinion. Should I say my humblest of opinions, or my humblest opinion? But, right. So anyway, this can go now. We broke trend. But that's how you can kind of get a good gist of what's going to happen if you're in a short, or whether to stay in the short, or levels to watch while the short is moving to the downside. Now you level, well, where are we going? Well, again, this is a falling wedge that's falling down. You would take this measured move. This tells you could go lower all the way to that high volume node there at 66,350. So now I have to shrink down. I got to look at smaller time frames. All right. But now I even have a measured move and I have another key level to watch at 66.4. And this looks more bearish, you know, and you have to remember the daily is pressing now. The daily kind of wants blood and it doesn't look amazing. A 10-minute chart is making a bear flag. Funny, why the 10-minute, why the 15, why the, you know, I just started using all different time frames and I saw that like sometimes you can see something that you can't. Like the 10-minute looks better than the 7 right now. It's got more solid of a flag vibe. But, you know, the 10-minute looks like we're about to dump to the downside here, further down. Yeah, it's kind of a shoulder, head and shoulder, descending triangle too as well on the 5-minute. We hit a resistance just there out of nowhere at 68,250. Looks like they're going to flush that short down to 66,005. It's crazy right now, though. We got a lot of liquidity above us, back at 68,500, and then at 65.6, the level that I'm, where this is, or I'm at 66.3, but all the way down there at 64. Yeah. Looks like we're going to drop further down. I see more downside here for Bitcoin to 66.4. We started dumping at the exact moment of the full moon. Go back and look at the chart with the moon phase indicator. I think it's good to remember it's full moon today, and that usually was a pump. Anything could happen, but if you go by the moons, I mean, what are you going to do, right? It can't be by the moon. So we always dump around the full moon and top out around the new moon. No, it's usually the other way around. But anyway, I'm not going to get into it today. I don't want to spend like the whole time on the moon phases. They're amazing. There's some correlation. I don't trade on it per se. Like I always say, okay, on the full moon, let's be ready. Tonight is a full moon. Last night, it looked like a full moon to me already. But tonight is a full moon. We'll see what happens, right, as we progress into the night. Usually gets pretty crazy, right? That full moon fire, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate your viewership and for being here. You got to stay positive. Your mind is the number one thing to use in trading, right? You're using your mind. Now, well, make sure you're not using emotions, but you're using your mind. Now, if you're using your mind, you got to make sure your mind is at optimal. How do you keep your mind optimal? And it sounds like I'm about to sell you something, right? But I'm not. I'm about to sell you your own sauce. You, yourself, you're the one that can keep yourself optimal by working out every day and creating endorphins inside of the mind. Everyone tries to sell you a fruit drink, a free drink or an energy source or caffeinated energy drink or something, but I'm just trying to sell you yourself. Half of my spiel is telling you that you can do it yourself. You got this, because once you realize you have it forever. No one can take it from you. I got it right before my parents died. And it is that it factor, the know-how that you're going to be successful no matter what. That no matter what comes your way, you're going to be positive about it. You're going to be able to make a positive thing out of everything in your life. No matter how bad it seems or how horrible it gets, you're going to somehow find a way to turn it into something you can use to make a gain with. So therefore, everything is a gain. Even the worst things in your life are gains, because you trick your mind into knowing how to make a gain out of anything. Anything. This becomes that's success in a nutshell. Once you have that, you're successful for life. You're done. You don't really have to, because it doesn't matter the genre, it doesn't matter the industry, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You will outwork the competition due to your ability to live in love and be positive and grateful. You'll just be on a higher frequency that can't really be matched. People that are trying to make money won't even be able to make as much money as you, because all they'll be thinking about is money. You'll be on another level. You see what I'm saying? Trust me, it grows and flows. The frequency moves. But this looks bearish to me. Like the bearish div came out, but we got a hard rejection, a hard no at 68.2. A hard no. Said no way, Jose. I see further move to the downside here for Bitcoin at the present moment in time. Next stop looks like 67,345. Unless we can pull out some type of divvy. All right. You taught me to watch as many consecutive time frames as I can, because it's like a flip book. You can watch price drift your direction. Thank you. Shout out to Mr. Market. Yeah, to being able to do that, though, it takes a lot of mental focus and energy. It's not easy just to really bring in the time frames and know exactly what's happening and be like, oh, the 1 minute to the 7 to the that's a skill that gets developed over time. Some people see it and just they're like, they can't, And there's still opportunity out here in the market. We're going to take a look at Turbo. Turbo's been on my radar, actually. I like the story of Turbo. And the owner, the guy who created it, seems like such an honest and nice guy. I don't know him personally, so who knows, but his story seems pretty cool. All right. Hunches, I believe exactly what you're saying about the Lucas numbers, man. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I mean, this is kind of a cup and handle falling wedge. Triple bottom, double bottom here. Some type of, 1, 2, 3. Seems like we're getting some support here at 67,750, 67,800. Do you long? See, catching a falling knife would be longing right now, just taking a long. I bought Turbo 2 weeks ago, and I've been telling everyone to buy Turbo. Amen. I don't tell everyone to buy. I don't own it. I'm not, I think it's an interesting project. I like it more than a lot of the other ones. It just has a genuine community and a genuine person that made it. My husband and I both watch your show, and one thing we talk about is the true sauce of your show. Aside from the wealth of trading, your knowledge is your mindset and the encouragement. Shout out to McKinley Wright. We love you. We appreciate you. You know why? Because you have to stay positive. People mock people that do the positive energy thing. Like the other day, I saw someone that I'm really close to. It was like, they were like, it's cringe when influencers talk about being positive or something, And I get it at one point because it's like, show me the sauce. Let's make some money. I agree with that. Like, you got to make people money. Like, I show you that the sauce works and the things that I go over make sense. Like, you can't just talk all like that's why I'm weary. That's why I mention God and I love God and talk about God on my channel. But I don't want to become a whole evangelist and use God as a way to lure. You know what I mean? I don't know. God's part of my life because it is. It's just a fact of what happened to me in my life. I chose that path and that, But at the end of the day, I want to show you that you can make money. Like, I would love that you believe in God and have, but you don't have to. My point is, I want you to believe, to want to change your life and believe in yourself. All right. That's my most important thing for you. All right. I let God figure out all the other things. You know what I mean? I don't get too, catty into that nature. I see a move for Bitcoin further down here to 67,350. Oh, wow, it's some choppy volatility today too as well. And just treat everyone in the way they want to be treated, right? Shout out to Mike M with the one love. We love you. We appreciate you. God bless everybody here on the stream. Wow, we're getting a bounce now on the 1 minute. Stochastics are low, not when I would like to short. That started to dump though. It looked pretty nice. This would just be the measured move, the length of the base of this if we broke down. I'm wondering if this is worth longing. Eventually, we are going to catch that daily bottom, right? They got liquidity above us all the way back up to 68.5. First leg is you get above the 21, right? Then you try the 50, then you get it. That's why I use all the moving averages. You'll get through them in succession. I'll be honest today, I'm not going to say like, this is some, the price action is pretty weird. You had the bullish div that bounced up. You got resistance. You came back. You're in a falling wedge. It still looks to me like the falling wedge wants to break down. I don't get a huge encouragement of bullishness here. I wouldn't short or long at the present moment in time. My strategy's a little. It says, if I had to do something, it would tell me I must long. Maybe like some type of. It's like a bigger div. You could say, swing up to swing up is the long. And then this is also, and that's a bigger bullish div. You just kind of got to skip the middle a little bit. Goes against my rules slightly, but you could say, okay, that's a slight bullish div. Also kind of looks like a shoulder, head, right shoulder, though, right? If it makes it. From years of doing this says we have to bounce back at least to the 200 MA, and we'll blast, right? Look for price to get over this this red line, the point of control. If it gets above the red line and it does something cool, like a flag or something, and it may even just continue to spike, but it can gap through this VRVP now to the 21. I think what people like coming to my channel is too, when they watch a dump, things will be dumping, and I'll just be like, super calmly watching a divergence or waiting for a subtle area to break. When most people are watching like a 1 hour, 5 minute candle, 7 minute, 15, and just watching just complete red, and they have no idea what's going on, right? And sometimes I'm not going to say I do too. I don't, but I'm making sense of it. I believe I'm one of the best people to make sense of fast moving price action and to kind of figure out where we're at, what the probabilities are, and what's most likely going to happen based off years and years of doing the same type of stuff over and over again, right? Just repetition. And that's what I talk about too, is showing up every single day is the best thing you can do for yourself. And, you know, and your family, if you're a family man or woman. Showing up every day, you know, people make excuses. Then they get on those pills and they get on the, you know, they get into the depressants and then they start, you know. And it's a long road. My whole thing is, I'd say this to anyone, and again, I shouldn't say this because I'm not a doctor, but I'd say anyone struggling with mental health, because I struggle, in my humble opinion, just with, like, you know, getting my mind at the right frequency. That's really what I believe I struggled with. And they're so quick to give people a pill, and no one asks if, you know, if you've done any exercise. Had I started exercising earlier in a way that was like for the mind, like mindful exercise for the mind, you know, knowing I was exercising for the body, but knowing that it was for the mind and being mindful of that while I exercised. And that's when my life began to change. You know, and for the 1,800 people here watching, I really want to talk about how exercise changed my life. Got me on a new tip. Anyway, let's keep watching the 1 minute here. You're here for the science of the technical analysis. But I just want to tell you, it's all connected. So you break this channel, you're going to fall down to the bottom of the channel again. Very likely, you know, so you just dump here. And then we just continue this falling wedge target. Now, there's a chance you're bouncing off the top, kind of like Bitcoin did on the daily, right? Like it never goes back inside the pattern, but once you're back inside it, I mean, you're going to drop like this. Now you're likely going to dump now. And you made a low lower than those lows. I have to be honest, this is like a very, I gotta say, it's a shoulder, a head, and a kind of a right shoulder. Yeah, they both of these targets are kind of pushing me to about 67,250 for Bitcoin. I remember that daily wants to dump on you. If you were outside of the 1 minute, you just watch that daily. The daily is just, you know, massive bearish engulfing candle on that daily. I'm here watching how I watch the 1 minute, not because I'm a degen, because the 1 minute has a lot of information and can tell you when things are kind of starting to kind of at least slow down a little bit. You know, you get these major dumps, they're like straight away, and then you kind of eventually want to round, you don't want to see if, are you going to round this bottom out? Or is this going to, you know, continue to the down? Or are you going to start to round on out? I flip it upside down. If you were pumping, this would look like a dump. You'd get some bearish div, it would start to drop back down to the 200 SMA. So it wouldn't make so much, you know, boom. Like you'd make maybe a shoulder, another head, maybe another right shoulder, and then you'd start to dump. You'd likely come back to this key area here. So then it doesn't, you know, it's just harder for us to believe the bounce is in. It's easier for us to believe we're going to dump on us. I think that's because retail's been through so much pain. So when I teach, I always teach to look at it both ways. Because if you can see that it would dump on you, then you could see how it could pump as well, right? And you're like, but Sam, you've been bearish and bullish. Yeah, right now I'm open-minded. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is when you break back inside this pattern, there was a chance you could have retested, you didn't. Once you go back inside, you're likely to drop down to this line again. And then I can tell you that these have measured moves if you break down from them, and that puts us here. And then I could also say this resembles a bit of a slanted, almost shoulder, let's say head, shoulder, kind of shoulder, that could break down too as well to around the same area. So I'm getting some bullish confluence at 67.2, but then we're getting these weird bounces out of nowhere. Price action's pretty choppy right now and acting pretty funky. Good day to buy some BTC, right? So I trust you. After my parents passed, I was in the dumps. Went to the doctor, honestly handed me the antidepressants, turned me numb. Then I said, you stop going turkey and picked up hockey. Amen, right? Row. If you got wrecked today, we need to help you. You shouldn't be getting wrecked. You should have a stop loss on every trade. So you should have risk. You should only be risking 1% or less of your portfolio per trade. To me, I lost like 0.0001% or something in my, maybe even less than that. Some very small amount. I lost $500. There are no correction. This was a crash. Dirty manipulation. I'd rather stay. Well, I don't know what he's saying. Taiwan news wrecking shop. Bitcoin has been soundly rejected 4 times at about 72K, which says to me we were headed to a much larger dump and won't be seeing a new all-time high this year. Anything is possible. I'm open-minded. We'll see, though. We will see. To me, it's all about the moving averages. If we lose the big ones, like the daily, then yes. If we don't, then no. And we'll get there by looking at, everyone has these ideas of what's going to happen to Bitcoin. Nobody knows. But if we show up every 5 hours, like if in 2 hours I do an update, 2 hours from now, and every couple of hours I'm always watching Bitcoin and I never lose it, then I'm going to see the first loss of let's say like the 4 hour loses the 200 MA. I'm going to be one of the first people to see it. Then I'm going to know that's bearish. Then I'm going to look for us to go to the 8, the 12, and the daily. We lose the daily, then I'm going to know we have more. So like if anyone knows where we're going to go or show you where we're likely going to go, it's going to be me. I have no idea where price is going, but my system is going to, and I don't take days off. Someone can have a system as good as mine, if not better. But if they take even 1 to 2 days off a week, they're going to miss things that I won't miss. What people don't realize is your ability to be amazing in anything in life is a simple formation of being there more than other people have been there. And then you just know more than they have. A good pianist has been on the piano more than other people have ever been on the piano. So they know more about it than other people. A good guitarist has been on the guitar more than... A good charter, a good analyst has been on the charts more than most people have ever been on the charts. Whatever you want to take to the next level, you might as well just put your mind, soul, and heart into it. Oh my God, look at that. I was just about to say, what if this reverses? And then it just like did a monster move. Stochastics were low. This indicator marked a bullish div that I couldn't even really pick up too much on. Still, don't get too excited, but you could say the falling wedge broke to the upside. But again, resistance, and we wicked right to the POC there, the red line. You see that? Basically 68K. So now there's a battle to get back above 68,000 for Bitcoin. The 7-minute says, hey, I could bounce all the way back. And just like when you bump, you lose the 21. Same thing here. You're likely to dump, you could dump back down. You could pump up to the 21 now. When you lose the 21 fast on the downside or to the upside, either way, you come back to the 21. Understood? Back to the 21. Okay. Pedaling the pump back to the ascending triangle line. Just a deal, yeah. You guys are funny. Shout out to everybody here. So look, can we get that bounce back to the upside? And where's everybody from? Let's get a roll call. We got a huge stream here today, and I'm super excited to see each and every one of you. Shout out to the 1,900 people here on the live looking for answers, looking to understand, looking in, the answers in you. If you can get the education, you're going to be able to see what's happening in the charts. All right. So this is a sloppy bullish retest now of this trend line. You really want to see if you can bounce off this trend line here. Bang. If you can't bounce off the trend line, you're going to the bottom of it again. And you're going to dump fast and furiously. And I'm going to keep this open as my measured move. What do I keep this for? This is the measured move of the falling wedge. If the falling wedge decides to let go, it takes us to about 67,002, that key weekly support or resistance. We're looking for a bounce here. Why? Well, we kind of had diagonal resistance. It's the top of this wedge. I should make this a little cleaner. It's the top of this wedge, and if you want to get a bounce. I'm expecting a bounce off the top of the wedge here, back to 68,250 for BTC. So far, so good. It's happening as I, would like it to. We get a get above this point of control, and then we can continue up too. This does not look amazing. We have local resistance at 68K, 20 bucks, right? But you can see, you know, bounce, 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 resistance, 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 resistance. Once we break 68, then you're looking for 68,250, and then there's a chance we get a bigger. Look, that candle's about to open above the POC, or it looks like it did. Bullish. There you go. Now, my trading has been really good this week, so like I didn't feel like getting too crazy today. If I see something that I like, I'll get in, but right now I want to bask in my wins right now. I really do. I really do. Well, you know, it took a couple days of planning, set up the trade, but literally in the last 5 days, made over 5,000 trading on my futures account, and I just want to bask in the wins, man. All right. I don't give signals to anybody. I go over the charts and show you what I'm seeing. That's what I think. I don't like to call it a signal, really. Thank you for everything you do for us. I'm starting to understand abundance and being thankful. J-Soul, it'll happen slowly, but over time, you start to realize that you were the answer the whole time, and that God lived within you, right? And that ability to spread love, light, and happiness, and to connect with the world is always there for you at any moment in time. You just have to want it. You just have to desire the connection and make it happen. Once you make the connection, it's there forever. You begin to build on it. And everything in life is a habit. You're a habitual being. You can be habitual about having a bad habit about things. If you always kind of go to the negative about things, that'll become you. It's sad. People will start to notice that about you. People notice that at work. Someone comes in with a bad attitude one day, then 2 days. Then they say something about someone. Everybody starts to notice, you know, that person is just a complete pain in the butt. So look, it looks like we're going to pump up to the 200 SMA on the 30-second chart. Make this gap right here. It's how price action eventually starts to stop. Look, it's a dirty Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve's always had this kind of little flag sometimes. This is kind of a dirty cup and handy. Look at that, Sammy cup and handy to the upside. Target takes you to 68,250. And I see us pumping to this yellow line now. Why? Because when the moving averages get tight, we close the gap to the 200 SMA. We may have found our daily bottom. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. We definitely have resistance here. Look at heavy resistance. If we can't get back above 68,000, expect more downside, period. Like, as much as I can say whatever I want, we got to get back above support or resistance. That's why I use indicators, but I always come back to support or resistance, everybody. Super important. You're using support or resistance and sticking to it. All right. It looks like a fake head and shoulders to pull in more shorts. I see a Sammy cup and handy, and these things, we saw one yesterday that blasted to the upside. We are on the 30-second chart. It gave me more clarity. I had to jump on into the 30-second. I did not open up a trade. I wish I did. It would have been fun. But I got some rules, and after some big wins like that, I tend to regroup and get ready. I made a quick scalp this morning that was a win. So I'm super happy. And the trade from last night that I doubled into. But then I lost it, But I am up on the day, on the trading day. Even with the loss. So the loss was very small. $46. But look, this thing like it's going to move to the 200 MA. And continue to kind of push through here. And when I do these, I'm in and out. Like, we're getting high in the stochastics. I'm starting to scale out of this if I'm in it. But we were able to find a bit of a reversal here. And then I can see tight moving averages pump up to the 200. Whether we break the 200 or not, we will never know. Okay? We will never know. Time will tell when we get there. If we break the 200, that can be a very bullish signal for continuation. It's usually rare for us to do this, like not hit it. We usually hit it and get rejected, or we hit it and we get above. So I'm expecting this candle to eventually hit this yellow line. It's almost like impossible for it to not hit the yellow line. And I mean to the upside here, like eventually, like somewhere in here. Okay. So we're taking a look here. This could come all the way to 68,150 for Bitcoin. All right. And now look, previous resistance. We broke that resistance. That's an SR flip there. We should be able to get it. You got to get a bounce here. You got to get a bounce here. You got to get a bounce to play off that support or resistance to continue this move. Otherwise, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. You have to get the bounce. Previous resistance must become support for the flip. Then we can crush the 200. Okay. And this cup and handle is basically done, you know. Sammy cup and handy. I mean, a couple more moves and it's pretty much done. It's run its course. This candle looks like the candle that will touch the 200 MA, right? Did anyone have the guts to make the trade? Are you in the gains? Sammy, what's your highest conviction coin? What coin is most likely to 10x in your opinion? Aerodrome. AERO is my highest conviction coin. Yeah. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. Another guy saying dude should be taking his financial advice. I also do own the coin. I may be biased, but I firmly believe it is one of the hottest things in the game right now. And could definitely 10x from where it's at. A lot of other things are up, like that I already have high conviction in, but we're already up 7x, 8x, 5x. So we tested the first trend and bounced. I mean, it's beautiful that we did the bounce that we were. That's called an SR flip. Previous support, previous resistance becomes support. Again, it's been sketchy trading today, though. Super sketchy. Like, I would be taking profits out of that. We basically got rejected by the 200, in my humble opinion, right there. We didn't touch it, but we got pretty dang close. Now, if you lose this line, you're dumping all the way back to this red line here. Boom. And there you go. Like, they're just eating. You've got to break 200 MAs to get the move to the upside. Look at that. They just crushed maybe people that thought they could hide below the line and then just ripped them back up again. They are vicious. You have to be surgical. But hey, if you got in at this flag, you're still in. You get it? The Sammy Cup and Handy is pretty awesome. Your thoughts on Pendle? I think Pendle is a great hold, but that's for me. I don't know about for you. You'd have to do your own research. All right. Kind of can't really, make sense of the pattern. To me, it's that one that breaks out and breaks back inside. And I show you that. I don't know if anyone sees it's the falling wedge that breaks out of the falling wedge, breaks back inside, and then continues to the upside. It made me go to the 5 second for that puppy. Looks like we could be making a shoulder ahead and a right shoulder on the 5 second chart. They'll throw you off. They'll try to, they'll give signals on all different time frames. But I've done this a few times in my life now, like a few hundred now, but it'll break out, break it back inside, and then I'll just act like you've never seen this part. Like I'll just kind of etch this part out in my mind like it never happened. And then in my mind act like it stayed in the flag, It's worked for me. I've been able to play falling wedges that no one else can see. And I've been able to rip through shorts because no one would have traded that. You know what I mean? But I've traded it. And then everything else falls into play. Like I only do it because the MACD turns, the RSI is low, and the Stokes. Like everything else falls into play. So I take the trade. It's a pretty, one day I saw everything that I usually take when I see a falling wedge was in play. The only thing different was that we had broken out and broken back inside. So I drew the wedge and I said, can I trade the wedge the same? And it hit. So I did it again and then it hit. And then I said, man, I got something weird that I know most people would completely laugh at me for. And this is a really weird, and most people and it is the beginning of a head and shoulder pattern for sure. That's another thing. This right shoulder catches a lot of shorts to short and gives you more exit liquidity for your long. It's a really interesting setup. All right. We the people just lose. It's all manipulation. And but you can find a way to find your happiness See? You got to find your happiness. Okay. Opriem el mi gente. God bless you. Fit for business. We hanging out for dear life. You're funny. I'm on the VAL. Bot pedal at 0.9 cents. Yeah, check out the 1 minute. It starts to make sense. Amen. But look, so wow, that thing is reversing, right? Now you did crack the 200 MA on the 30-second chart. Now that can be a bull signal. All right. You can long this with a stop right underneath it. I've done it many times. It plays out. It's sketchy. It's the 30-second chart. All right. With the odds in our favor, once we break the yellow line, we should be able to continue further to the upside. We may have found the daily bottom here. Many times we do here on the channel at 67,000. I'm not guaranteeing it by any means, but there's a chance we did. A lot of times it's between 10 and 11 and 12 o'clock. All right. There's going to be a violent move when I come on. Right as I came onto the live, we started getting the dump, right? Like the liquidity run happens for whatever reason between 10 and 12 every day. All right. I'm just, can this hold? These you put a very small stop, you know, your stop is very close to price action. But that yellow line should be like the holy grail of like stopping you from getting stopped out. It's amazing how well it can save you. I'm expecting a bounce all the way back to 68,500 for Bitcoin. The first hurdle would be 68,261. We're now on a little flag here on the 30-second. That's getting busy. I know I'm on the very small time frames. I didn't mean to be. I didn't want to be. I use whatever the market gives me to make sense of the market. Right now, the 1 minute is hiding information. I can't get a lot from it. I need the 30-second. I desire the 30-second chart for more detail. And the 30-second chart is providing the detail that I desire. And so that's why I'm using this chart. I don't really want to be on the 30-second. It's not my favorite thing to do. I do it when I need to do it, not when I want to. Trading isn't a whatever you want to do type of thing. There's discipline to it, just like going to the gym. You do what what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Like I'm supposed to buy above the 200 MA, right? I'm supposed to take a few days off after big wins. These are prerequisites in my trading style. I don't have to catch the short right after I hit longs for 5 days straight and then beat myself up because I didn't short the market on one move. What is that? What kind of mentality is that? That's insanity. That's insanity. On my way to the gym currently. Shout out to my man. To be honest, you're funny, man. Are you serious? Sir, I gave up on finding 100% working setups. Now I trade with my capital, no leverage at all. Going good. Honestly, I didn't use leverage for literally 8 years of my life. I didn't want or have anything to do with what leverage was. I didn't even know about it. And I did very well and found investments that made me good amounts of money, that changed my life, that got me started on other investments that moved me forward into more and more ideas in my trading career. Whether you're a long-term trader, a short-term trader, you're a trader. Whether you hold for 10 years, I mean, that's just a 10-year trade. People call themselves investors, but you're still a trader at heart. We're all traders at the end of the day. If you're willing to trade your time, your money for more money or less money, depending on how you play that market, right? I'm long since 3,500 Bitcoin, right? Amen. See? You too? That was definitely one of the bigger buys that I made. That was a good area. Got any PEPE 0 times? It's popping off on base. You're funny, man. There's just too many PEPEs on all over the place. PEPE on base. They're like PEPE V2. I mean, that's a pump. That's a pretty hard pump in the last. I mean, PEPE on base. Base is going to get hot again. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. but I see base playing a major role in getting big moves. I got Brett Normie and some other base memes just to have on the sidelines, just to see. If you use those low time frames without leverage, I don't use them with low leverage. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even trade those low time frames back in the day, right? Agreed. Like, this is to make your daily stipend off a small Bitcoin move. That's to me what leverage is for. Like, if I want to hit 300 a day trading, and the market gets pretty flat on altcoins, and I don't have you know what I mean? I leverage trade Bitcoin for my 300. You know what I mean? I find my way to make the gain, no matter what I got to do. And if I can't trade that day, I step out of the market. I know there might be another day I might make $1,000 that day, and triple up, right? I'm sorry, Sam. I'm just confused right now. But if you've just lost $500, you're pissed. Big love to you. I don't know what that means. You lost $500, and you're upset about it. It's just money, man. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. And when trading the small time frames, you just also have to know things could just go haywire. Like, I'm liking this flag, but I'm liking more that we're above the 200 MA. Like, that's how we started the trade. The trade actually did get into the money pretty quickly. I don't trade the 30-second regularly. Like, not all the time. I've done it maybe 20 times in my life. I've looked at it hundreds of times and used it to assess price action, but I don't normally trade it. Okay? It's not like my go-to to be on the 30-second chart every 5 seconds. Let's take a look at Ethereum for a second and see what's happening with ETH. Aerodrone even losing that key level at 111. And again, no matter what setup I put out in the trading group, if Bitcoin starts to dump hard, the market's going to dump. You know, that's just what's going to happen. ETH was starting off with a nice pump and then kind of ate it right away when Bitcoin kind of... Let's take a look at Ethereum. You can see Ethereum broke out of a beautiful falling wedge back to the upside. That's its next leg, really, beginning. What you really just want ETH to do is stay above 3650. That's going to be key. It loses 3650, you're talking back to 32 again, and you're losing most of the pump. You stay above 3645, 3650, let's even bring it a little higher there on that daily. 687, 3700 we'll call. What that does is you're preserving a lot of the pump. Now, you're very overbought on the daily, very similar to Bitcoin, and you don't have really a red day candle yet. You're holding a lot more bullishly than Bitcoin, but the 4 hour is starting to show signs of bearishness. What I also see is a major bearish divergence on the 4 hour time frame. Bitcoin already kind of had this and took a bit of a tumble, and you got the rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time, unless they can break out like parabolically, right? So does the ETF get approved? Does Ethereum take a major pump to the upside? And did we all just like laugh? That morning was just, or is there major dumpage here for Bitcoin? Bitcoin looking like it wants to really use this flag to the upside here and do damage. Go to my target at 68,500. Look, we've been calling this reversal since we kind of saw this flag here, remember? And then we talked about we have to come to the 200. Then we did that. Then we talked about opening a trade when you break above the 200 and just sitting on your hands. That trade is now in the money because the entry was somewhere there at about $68,020. Had to have been higher than that, though. Like, I don't know if that moved, but in this, I believe we bought into this. When this candle wigged down, we were buying, and it looked greener. I want to see if you can get to 68,500. We are watching the 30-second chart for Bitcoin. Okay. Instead of panic selling, I offloaded another 1,000 of Bitcoin onto my ledger. Amen. Amen. That's what you got to do, man. And anytime Bitcoin goes low, it's just a good time. I bought some PEPE coin this morning at $5. PEPE coin, the original PEPE on MEXC, PEPE coin. It'll say PEPE Again, you don't have to buy anything that I buy. Please do not. All right. I'm a speculative investor taking a shot. Feel like it was a post dump to ETF news. It's expected to replicate Bitcoin ETF. What if we rip from here? The bottom is in. Nobody knows. Very interesting news too. Grayscale launches trust for Bitcoin Layer 2 stacks near protocol. Asset manager Grayscale announced 2 new trusts, giving certain invest exposure to Bitcoin Layer 2 stacks and near protocol. I mean, that has to give stacks some, some eyes. People don't even know. Like SDX, it's crazy that stacks gets that much love for Grayscale to look at into it. And near is hot. I'm telling you right now, near is a hot. I rode near from a buck to 7. Then I moved into layer AI. Sometimes I don't ever say I regret it because we'll see what happens. The end isn't here, so I can't regret it. What hasn't happened yet. All right. But I still hold big bags of stacks. And Near launched in 2020. I like Near a lot. Of all the projects out there, like of chains that I think are really going to be able to move and are substantial and have large market caps, you got Solana. Like if you didn't want to buy Solana, if you didn't want to buy, I don't know, Cardano or something like that. I mean, what else, or AVAX. I think Near is your next best friend. But again, you do whatever makes you happy. All right. Let's take a look at what's ripping right now on the 1 hour. Like I do, I go to all the cryptocurrencies. We take a look at the 1 hour time frame and you see what's hot. ENA is still up 2% on the day, doesn't really care. Bonk still ripping up 1.49%. Not amazing. Book a meme. And Caspa really still doing some damage after that big pump we gave in the trading group. I talked about Caspa. I even made a video about it about a couple weeks before it started to pump pretty hard about how I was buying the key areas of Caspa. Ondo holding 96 is hot to me. Up 14% on the week. Jupe just never wants to let go of that dollar. I love that. Even Dog with Hat up 3% on the week. And Beam, one of my longer term holds. And Pyth, attempted to climb back from that major dumpage. And really the winner of the week, one of the biggest winners of the week, is PEPE at 42%, banging on them to the upside, hitting all-time highs, PEPE coin. So the memes are really still in charge right now. And Bitcoin looks like it's going to reverse to my target at 68,500, and we can go from there. We can see how we kind of find these slow reversals, and it's all, look, a golden cross. It's all about watching how the moving averages interact and trusting in the fact that they're going to play out over time. It's not easy to do. This takes a long time to feel out the moving averages and understand them. They're also latent. The pump happened, then that crossed. You don't wait for that to cross to buy the pump. All right. Maybe the 30-second chart might be somewhat different, but most no, And look, now do you have a bearish divergence? And you kind of do. The RSI is swinging down. Price is swinging up. Now you can see, like, you are going to make a possible rising wedge here. All roads are still pointing to the target at 68,500 for Bitcoin. Looks likely like we'll hit it. I like when the moving average crosses the 200 there too. That's a good sign. All right. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I have no idea where Bitcoin is going to go. Shout out to all the beautiful people here. If you want to join my trading group, you might just want to take a fancy to what we're doing. If you watch the last few days too, we've been hitting hard. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit hard every day, but most of the days. But learn to trade, unlock financial freedom with the Crypto Lifer. I could see the dump happening before it happened when I lost the 200 MA on the 15-minute. I was able to cut off my long easily with a very small loss. Learn how to, bounce, not get wrecked, basically. Put your email address in here and consent to our newsletter if you can. I would love that because we can send you 2 newsletters a week that'll help you learn. My thing is this. I joined a trading group and I never left the one I'm in. Became a legend there, like a rafter, right? And I learned what could work better. I learned how to help people, and I came up with some of my own science and sauce that I honestly was unique to how I look at the charts. And I really began to teach it, and I felt like I was helping people. And then we began this beautiful school, the Crypto Lifer Trading Group. So jump on in and get an education You know, it's not about, I don't promise you fast money at all. I don't promise you 10,000 a month or any of that nonsense. All I promise you is the ability to believe in yourself and to find a way in trading that you've never found before. And to finally get a sense of order and a system to trading that I believe I've given to thousands of people around the world, and I've gotten feedback from testimonial after testimonial about the sauce in which we provide. The bounce off the 1 hour time frame. Beautiful move right there. Look at that. We want to see that as reversals. So we're watching the smaller time frames, we're watching the 1 hour time frame, and we're watching all this kind of happen in real time. You're learning a lot right now because you're watching how a small time frame is creating patterns inside of a movement on the bigger time frame. And you got to be able to kind of flip and change to see the different. You can't be stuck. If you're one of those people that it has to be one way once you see something, it's going to be very hard to be able to change your stance as price action changes. Price action taught me to be more versatile. Trading taught me to change the way I think about life, really, in a major way. In a major way. Previous resistance is support. That's SR flip right there. Resistance. Bounce. Ugly flag, I'll give it to you. But a flag nonetheless. 1 hour bounced off the 200 as we talked about. We were looking for this. This is what I said, you know. That's the level that I'm looking for a bounce from. Once I lose key levels, I just know the moving average. Once I learned that, you know, because if you don't know the moving averages, you can find some support and resistance excuse as to why you like that area, right? Let's take a look here at 68,240, right? And you can see P&L up on the week, $2,000. So look at this, losing the 200 SMA, losing the 200 SMA here, falling to the downside, perpetual, right? That was how the 15-minute just told us that we were basically in the sauce. So now, can we close the gap? That's pretty weird how those candles are like flat. I mean, that looks like it could be a monster little trade there. And take profits at the 200. Yeah, I think I shouldn't go too high there. 68,759. So fast how quickly we go. This market is insanity. Stop loss at 68,156. And I risk like usually 100 for 300. Depending. 92 for 397. And we should get this bounce to the, you know, to the 200 MA. I could get stopped out in 2 seconds very easily. But I'm looking for this bounce up to the 200. There we go, right? I'm up $35 immediately, right? You see that? Remember, my stop loss is very close to price action, so I don't have to risk too much. See, that's 40. I'm up 45 immediately. I like to take that. Because if I can do that 5 times today, 10 times today even, it took a minute, I can make $450 a day, right? I'm about just taking mine, and especially when I make money pretty fast. Like 50 minutes $50 in a minute to me is pretty fast money. So I need a short, you know, I don't need but I desire a short squeeze here. Now, I never know when I'm in a live trade. I just do when I kind of see something that makes sense. And I don't like to lose money. Like, I'd rather take my money now than lose money at all. See, I could have taken $50 immediately. Now that trade's a little sketch. retesting that level right now. And price action can move very fast on you. Do not do this if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to risk, if you don't know what you're risking, if you don't know how to use risk management. You can't be doing this. Use a demo account, please, and never use real money. All right? So you know what you're doing. So they're battling this key level here. You can see it's a battle right here. 68,250. Some orders, people taking profits. There's some orders. Thursday's also not my favorite day 2 trade. We're down $2 though. I'm freaking out. But I treat every dollar like it was my last. Every single dollar matters to me. Because every dollar, it's like every grain of sand makes up the beach. Every dollar matters to me. That looks like a bearish div now. I would be out on that. See, I could see it. And they could rip it right back up. I'm trading small time frames. I wanted one thing to happen. The pump to the 200 MA. Yeah, I'll cut off a $60 loss pretty fast. Dang, man. See, that's why I like to take the small one. Take that 450 and be out. We hit a resistance here too. Not too bad, but... And the bearish divergence wasn't too bad. But we started to get this move. We got rejected. I'm trying to see what rejected us. I guess we just say this high. High volume node was stuck there. Looks like we're still going to continue this reversal though. I wouldn't be surprised. I need to look at price action again in a different light, because when we do that and I get stuck in the smaller time frames for too long. So let's take a look here. Resistance, 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 bounce. I mean, we really to me, the daily's trying to tell me that, hey, I want to come back to the 21-day moving average. It'd be awesome if we don't, if we go up and down and we consolidate somehow before that. But we have to take into account that that's a possibility. Could also stay inside the... All I want really is to stay above 67,200. I don't really care what else they do, who they liquidate, what they do, how they go up or down. All the craziness, right? I just want to make sure. So let's watch this today. We'd like to get this. A bounce on the 4, consolidation, and then we're out, right? Back to the new all-time high at 75,000. We can stop playing this game. We know we're going to the all-time high. Let's stop playing this game. Enough is enough, right? And it's the leverage traders. I blame them all. Which is me. I'm just joking, but... Look, we're SR flipping and headed back to the upside. Had I stuck to my, you're going to close that gap right now. It says it's going to happen. I've seen it so many times in my life. You close this gap to the 200 SMA. So I broke my rule too, but whenever I break my rules in trading, I use a very small amount. So I don't feel, I'm like, it's a tiny amount, It's not like I went all in full port. Look, low stochastics turning, lack of bearish momentum in the MACD. I don't see how you don't close this gap right here and at least get to this next level at 68.8. Then we'll see what happens from there. But it looks like we found our daily low. We must break back above 68,300 now. Anyway, let's jump into the chat. I don't want to bore you too much. People seem to love this, though. Okay. Yep, I do the same. Profits and run, yeah. Big red line above us on BOOKMAP. Let's take a look at liquidity on BOOKMAP. Link to BOOKMAP in the description below. And I'm trading here on MEXC. Link to MEXC if you want to jump on in. They do KYC. So you have to KYC with an RNS ID. Go to RNS ID today. Get yourself an ID and you'll be able to KYC on MEXC, no problem. All right. They want to play by the rules and do the right thing, which I think is honorable. So shout out to MEXC. They have the lowest fees in the game too. If it's applicable in your area, I think MEXC is really the answer. But it's up to you. But why is because they take the least amount of your money when you trade. 0 spot maker taker fee, 0.1 spot taker fee. 0% future maker fee and only 0.1% future taker fee. The fees are low and they have access to so many coins that you just can't get anywhere else unless you go to decentralized exchanges too. So they know how to get the hard to find coins and they get them pretty fast. I got to hand it to MEXC for doing that because I didn't have a MEXC years ago and had to juggle all those coins all the time and find out where they were. And now MEXC just kind of gets them within a day or two. Now you can still flip, like you can get them earlier and flip them. It's another profitable idea. You get things on a decentralized exchange and you flip it on a centralized exchange. You go from a DEX to a CEX is what we say, CEX. But that is the, again, I don't really see a trade right now. I don't want to get I don't want to throw too much at you and be like, yeah, just do this, do that. I mean, possible flag, I guess. That's like the only thing I see happening, right? But still kind of a double top. I'm getting mixed signals today. A lot of chop. We got to break the 1 minute two. We break the 1 minute two, then I might start to think about opening up another long. If the 1 minute, if the 200 comes all the way down and we get tight, we're going to dump for more to the downside. It kind of makes like a shoulder head and right shoulder too that could break us out. Only time will tell when it comes to BTC. That's what I found out in my life of trading Bitcoin. I just like this song. Is that okay if I play it one last time? Bang, bang, bang. Appreciate everybody here on the live. Thank you for being awesome and being supportive of the trading group and of the channel. I just can't believe how many people have responded. I read a great testimonial this morning too that really, really dang near brought tears to my eyes. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for the love. You know, as I lost my mom and dad, the two people that I, fell in love with first in my life, right? I exchanged that love for people in the trading group. I know it sounds weird, and I look for family in the crypto community, and I find it all the time. And the people here in Florida are also really nice. And there's a lot of amazing people here in Florida. I just moved to Florida. Absolutely love it. I can't say enough about Florida. Absolutely beautiful. It's 87 today. Today will be another beautiful day in Florida. So it's just a beautiful time to be alive, right? So anyway, look, that's a head and shoulder pattern now. Look at it. See how fast I can change. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, dump. And so I want to kind of pull out of the small time frames and take a look at what we're looking at here. It's really up to the 4 hour. Can the 4 hour give us a bounce? I guess, that's why I'm on the small time. It's like I'm back here again. I get it. It's like I had no choice. It's coming down to the next 30 minutes to an hour. We break this 200, we boom out. We reject, we come down. It's really what I see. You could say it's an ascending triangle with a 50-50 shot either way, right? We'll look at it something like this. I just always have to put it in some type of, I have to price action has to be put in a nice, neat little bow for me, right? That's how it makes sense. And once it makes sense, I can then start to play around with probabilities. Looks bearish to me, like you're double topping. Like you couldn't get back above 68.3. I attempted a little scalp. I got it. I had it. I was up like $50. I should have taken it. That's why I take my wins every single time. See? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But it's over now. I learned my lesson. I'd still be in the trade right now, though, right? It wouldn't be too bad. It's kind of been just chop. Surprised we haven't closed the gap to the 200 yet. That was the basis. That was the thesis of the trade. And this is a 50-50. See how they go at 50-50 shot. And I get mixed signals. Low stochastics and tight moving averages tell me we should be closing this gap up. The probability says we should be closing the gap to the 200. And then if we break that, boom. At least we stopped the bleeding here on the live. If you were watching on the live and you wanted to know when are we going to be done dumping. And again, we could continue the dump too. But for now, you know, the dump has paused for a second. And we've slowed down. And I hope you learned a lot through this process. This process is really where you learn the most. As the price action dumps and revisits, and then does it reverse or does it continue? And understanding that process and how to trade that process really, to me, is one of the key places. Because right now you're at a key example. Like a lot of people are now opening up shorts with stop losses here. A lot of people opening longs with stop losses down here. You have the whole world, and that's why it's more, these are 50-50 patterns, because so many people are going to play it both ways. There's going to be liquidity on either end. That's where BOOKMAP comes into play. BOOKMAP has a lot more red liquidity above us than below us, then it's likely we're going to go higher. BOOKMAP has the liquidity to 68.5. Interesting, but the biggest liquidity does take us back down to 65 and all the way back down. Man, they want to take us all the way back to 65.5. And look, there you go. You lost that level, and that's dump city now. Now, someone jump on the bandwagon and start the short right now. Me, I always have to be in early with, like, I would have to be in profit right now. But that does show you that more downside is likely coming for Bitcoin. And when we look at BOOKMAP, it does suggest that there's more dumpage. Again, I don't know for sure right now. And then sometimes I never know what price action is going to do, but sometimes I have a higher probability vibe. Right now, I can't place it. I have to be more bearish because you couldn't get you. This is your low, you know, I'd take it support or resistance. Unless you can break back above 68.3, expect more downside. How did I just grab that hit control when you can be able to grab anything? So cool. Anyway. And there you are getting rejected by 68.3 a second time. Third time, really. 1, 2, 3 times. Bear City. I would only long if you can flip this 200 SMA. And then you got to flip 68.8. Those are going to be your key reversal levels today for Bitcoin. Putting in the higher low. And it's going to attempt a possible cup and handle here. They call me Sammy Cup and Handle because I use it as the reversal pattern over and over and over again. And sometimes continue. Sometimes it's inside of a bull pennant. Like it's not always, it doesn't have to be, but it usually is when we come back down. Cool. You can pull a mini fib here too and wait and look to see if the golden pocket comes into play. And that's kind of my next move here. Can we break to 68.8? Can we break to the moving average? And all that jazz. To me, I'm bearish unless you break above 68,300. It's like once I see these local resistances, I'm like, why would I just long immediately? Get above that area and make a flag then possible. But right now, you're showing me that you don't want to get back above that level, so why would any lower be any better? You know what I mean? So it tells me there's more likely a pullback coming for Bitcoin. Let's get into the chat. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. All right. Shout out to Master Friend for the 27. And thank you for saying, I'll teach you how to properly. Yes, friends getting spanked, trading leverage. Join and I'll teach you how properly. You need someone wrote how to get spanked or how to. Omar Torres, God bless you. Morning lifer. Let's make the best out of today. Stay hydrated, my friend. God bless you, man. Thank you for saying that. Thanks for all you do, Joker NYC. Can we check FAT on the 4-hour and the daily? What's the most bullish case for it? I'd have to really do a big deep dive on that. You taught me to watch as many consecutive time frames as I can because it's a flip book. You can watch it drift in your direction. Thank you. Amen. Mike M. One Love. Thank you. Celebrate the 10th super chat by Mike. BOOKMAP Big Red right above. Thank you for saying that. Your thoughts on Pendle? I believe it's awesome. Moonbeamer. Thank you for the thumbs up. Sam, can you take a look at MOVR? Bufflink, Landwolf on AVAX. Falling Wedge, 10 million market cap. I keep hearing about Landwolf. God works in great ways. I have a story to tell in the 99. God bless you, man. Can you take a look at RUNE, my brother? Anytime, anytime. So let's take a look at RUNE, and my team should have the super chats. Let's take a look. Thank you for all the super chats. Very, very nice of you. Blessings on blessings for everybody to be here. Thank you. $66 in chat revenue. Very nice. Very appreciative of that. I still can't believe that in my life that you people are that giving. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, from my family to yours, thank you so much. So we're getting a bit of a bounce on the 1 hour time frame. What will happen? Do we make a bear flag on the 1 hour? Right? See. Okay, I'm trading the Poly Market ETF chart. Interesting. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I always appreciate. He said the like ratio is shocking. 1,700 people, 18, 19, basically 2,000 people here on the stream. 658 likes. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. And consistency wins overall. No days off. We are the channel that can say we never took a day off. Never. The day I want to take a day off, I stop myself and I ask, why? What's more important? I have an hour. I can be there for my wife and kids and give an hour to my channel. If my day is the most crazy day ever and it's out of control, I still have an hour to pop in and say what up and do a stream real quick and give you guys an update, some positive motivation, and stay connected. I need each and every one of you as much as each and every one of you love this channel. I love you guys. Like, people don't realize how much the channel has helped me in my life. It gives me a place to be every day. It gives me consistency. It gives me a schedule. And to me, as someone that, that's super important to me. So I appreciate all of you and everyone, and I'm super appreciative of everything this channel provides. It's an amazing, I can't believe the opportunities that have come out of my life from showing up every single day on the internet. I just keep reminding myself of where I used to be recently and the 800 square foot one bedroom apartment I lived in for 10 years. 10 years. And I saw videos of people living in mansions and pools, and I said, one day I'll be there. And I thought I was going to be in that apartment for just a couple years, and it turned into so long, year after year. And the rents kept going up, and our rent stayed the same. So I was like, I might as well save. And I knew I needed to put my money somewhere to get out. All right. Could I have someone put out the super chats? I just said them really out loud, but I thought they'd be right here. I just can't see them. If not, that's okay. I'll go back and check them out. Thank you, Lakochi. Let's take a look at FET, Jesus, Pendle, MOVR. He just asked me about Pendle. I don't think he really asked me about the chart, really, per se. Let's take a look at Fetch AI. Fetch is hot. If you got into Fetch when we did, it was so early. It was so early. And, what we don't want to see Fetch do is break the 200 SMA. So right now we watch this, and it is a symmetrical triangle. You could try to call it a bull flag, but it looks more like a symmetrical triangle to me, personally. And resistance at 260. A bounce too as well. And believe me, I'm always mindful of Bitcoin. I got BOOKMAP up. It's at $68,060 on that perpetual. How about front? Shout out to Crypto Alex. Shout out to Lifer Adam. Shout out to Love Learning. Blessings on blessings. I mean, at what price did I call Fetch? Somewhere around 19 cents we were buying Fetch. I was buying it throughout the whole bear market. You can go through all my posts and find out when I first talked about Fetch. Let's see if we can do that together. It's a great question. But it's pretty dang early. So you would type in FET right here. USDT, and you would go to all my posts. I mean, there's so many, it's ridiculous. But usually you can track me pretty well. There's 1020 in 2023. This is October. And there it is at 21 cents, right? And I'm in it. At this point, I've been in it. At that point, I had been in it for so long and had already been talking about it for like a year, right? Fetch Daily is oversold. I'm giving it to you at 23 cents. It did a 10x so far. It's a 10x from there. That's me going over it September 15th. We were talking about this thing. Here I am again talking about it on September 4th. Price is 26 cents. And it goes on and on. I mean, if you keep going, here I am again in my trading group on August 27th. 20 cent, like we swung traded many times. Here I am on July 19th. Here I am on March 3rd, March 29th. Just crazy, man. So we were just trading throughout the bear market. Anyway, it's been a rally with Fetch. These coins, I know these coins. Like, I've traded them so long. I own them long term, like inside and out. So you asked about the weekly, I believe, in the daily for Fetch. So I really like where the weekly is right now for Fetch. And the fact that it didn't dump, it consolidated. So like, that's bullish. That's bullish consolidation if I've ever seen it. And it tells me that FET is going to make its, it's going to take its time. Or you're looking for a $5 FET. Right? A $5 FET somewhere by September. That would be awesome, right? When the AI rally continues. One of the strongest coins in the game, in my humble opinion, FET. Super happy I made it one of my bigger long-term holds and talked about it a lot during the bear market. I don't even take credit for it. I barely bring it up. A lot of other ones like, look at all the calls I made. I make so many hits on Bitcoin and so many other small, we hit so many gains. But I mean, if you're on my trading group, you're up big in the money on FET. You're up like 10x. You saw me buy 19, 20 cents. You saw me buying it at the lows. AGIX the same. Orachain the same. Shrapnel, a bunch of low coins on the lows. And the altcoins are on sale today too. Getting this dumpage for Bitcoin. Bitcoin getting that pump back to the upside as suggested. Oh, but what it did, so it dumped, came back up again. Interesting. Well, look, there's that cup and handle. Could it break out? Again, I get mixed signals. Bitcoin's been in chop for 10 minutes straight. Done nothing. They're waiting to see who's going to leverage too hard the other way, and then they're just going to take it. Excited for the ASI release. I like that you're excited for that. That's awesome. Me too, though. I got a lot of AGX and FET. We'll see how much ASI I hold. The people that hold long term, like, we should get some type of, like, the people that got in super early. I just feel like, I guess because it's us. I'm one of them. But I feel like we should get some cool benefit from that. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Hey, Lifer, thanks for all you do. Can you please give an update on SPA? You gave me a while ago. Thank you. That coin Spirax? I don't know. I got some super chats to do, and then we got to bounce on out of here. Let's take a look at Jesus coin. We'll look at it if I get a chance. I think I will. SPA. Now, last I looked at Jesus coin, it didn't look too good. Like, it had pumped, came back down, pumped up again. It still has a lower low than it used to, but it's super low. I never bought in. I I love the people that are in this coin, and maybe it is about like it's all about Jesus and stuff, but I kind of like want to keep God and like a coin and finance separate. But again, some people would, I don't want to upset the Jesus community, but I just feel like my community, we're like, I don't know. I personally think lifers were a little funny about naming a coin Jesus. Am I wrong? I don't know. And again, I shouldn't have any, who cares? I don't want to have, anytime I have an opinion, I get judged by the whole entire trading, by everybody, but I'm just, but and then someone would say, this is just talking about Jesus. I get it, but like, does it have the best intentions like Jesus? To the people that really started this coin, are they really, are they just using, and I don't know the answer to that question. So that leaves me feeling a little weird. So I don't know. So again, it's up to you. You go however you want with it. I take it however I want with it, and neither of us has to be right or wrong. All right, I just want to make that clear. And I don't judge you, and you don't judge me. And we both make our own. We have our own feelings about it. I'm not gonna buy that coin. Okay, that's my action speaks. How I feel. I wouldn't buy the coin. But I love the community, and I don't want to hurt anybody too. So like, and then so it's like, I don't want to ever. So I should just not speak on things. And that's what I learned too. When I say I don't buy something, it's negative. But that's just me. It doesn't mean that other people won't buy it. Because I'm the lifer, people get pissed if I don't like the coin. No, it doesn't. They give super chats on every stream. I watch Doji. Anyway, I started a whole, controversy in the chat there. I apologize. I never really think sometimes as I'm talking, I think about what I'm saying, but I don't realize the true repercussions of the chat, right? MOVR in a falling wedge. Once polka dot starts to move again, this thing starts to move. MOVR really part of that polka dot ecosystem. It's having major resistance on the weekly for whatever reason. It can't seem to get back above 15 on the weekly, like 4 weeks straight. Once it breaks 15, I just don't see how it doesn't moon to 45, 43, but taking a long time for 200% gains, but there you have it. All right. Okay, Bitcoin chart mimicking ES, LOL. Looks like we may get this cup and handle bounce after all. Usually after a major dumpage, they're going to rip the other way. Look, this kind of has a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder vibe to it too. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Get above that 200 MA on the 1 minute and you'll entice me for a long. Wow, Turbo is out of control. It went crazy. Unbelievable. And I remember some people getting into Turbo 2 at 9 recently. And I even just talked about how I like Turbo. I was talking about it today, right? Looked like it would consolidate a little bit. It hit the 21 and just, wow, it was just gone. No pullback, just Turbo on it. Wow. Wow, Turbo, not at the all-time high yet, but basically almost there. Shout out to Turbo doing damage. And where is its market cap sit now? That coin's gaining steam, man. $129 million market cap. Funny, man. They take so long, but they eventually... The more people learn about Turbo and the story behind it, it was like an artist. And then they watch the video and they see the guy. And he seems so warm and heartfelt. It can really kind of turn. But that's crazy. Just in the last 12 hours, Turbo gets busy. Almost 100% gain there for Turbo. 68% gains for Turbo. And it kind of resembles a bit of a cup and handle. I wasn't all over that. I wish I was. Tight moving averages on the 1 minute flag too tell you that and look, a bit of an inverted head and shoulder there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you're gone. Could just keep flagging out and you could chase that puppy. What it'll do is it'll flag, like it'll consolidate again. Looks like it may even continue to pump a little bit, but Eventually, you'll see a flag like this. Like this was a little ascending triangle. See? Look for low stochastics. May not be done, but you're chasing it at this point. I could find some support and resistance levels that matter for Turbo. Like if you ever got back down to 1.4 after this pump, probably be a steal, but you never know. All right. Yeah, but MANEKI, man, and you heard it here first. I put out MANEKI to the trading group down here, and this is the Japanese, mysterious cat. And, it may get a really huge following, but MANEKI's up 162%. Then I found it in this flag in the cup and handle, and it's still up 45%. Shout out to my MANEKI people, MANEKI gang. And MANEKI just doing complete damage. We get rid of all these little flags that I was showing you how MANEKI did damage. Well, blessings on blessings for MANEKI. Is it time to continue to get into MANEKI? Does MANEKI present another opportunity? Right now, the 1 hour looks interesting. Looked like it kind of was attempting to dump with Bitcoin, then broke out of this little flag. Honestly, it would be kind of a buy the breakout situation, but I see MANEKI doing more. Going up possibly to 28% gains for MANEKI. Look for it to consolidate here, but I don't see how MANEKI doesn't continue to the upside over time. The bigger target of the cup and handle is 17996 for MANEKI. All right. Thank you for putting that out there, MANEKI bag. Gangs are banned, gang. All right. And Land Wolf. So Land Wolf had some previous success. Beautiful pump. Now it's coming back down a slow, elongated fall down process back to the 886 retracement. If you believe in this project, this is the best place to buy. And that's all I can say. I don't own it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not into it. Land Wolf. Let's take a look at what it does. I think I looked at it one other time before, and I've looked at it on the charts before. I've heard its name, but I've never really sat down and decided to look at it. And there's two Land Wolves there. This one has 012. Let's see if that matches the price action. No, it does not. This one matches the price action though, but that doesn't look right. Interesting, they may have the price off. That happens in some of these really small coins. $9 million market cap, most of the supply is out. I can't tell if these are the same coins, man. But this one's 019. I like where it's at. And it would rip back up. But again, you'd have to believe in the coin. I don't believe in this coin. So I wouldn't be buying. No, I don't know enough. And even if the coin was amazing, I don't know enough about it. Whenever I say that, doesn't mean I've researched the coin and I think it's crap. What I'm saying is I don't even know. Maybe, now sometimes I do research a coin and I think it's whatever, but. Let's take a look at RUNE Thorchain. And I own a little bit of RUNE. Not a huge amount, but enough. Enough to slightly care. So it has this kind of giant double bottom, you see? Looks a lot like the Solana. So you want to see this bounce back to the top of the channel at the very least. Hit resistance at 918. All right, come back down. That's kind of what we're looking for here. And not lose that beautiful support zone on that high volume noted 550 for RUNE. The weekly looks good to me. I like what the weekly looks good on a lot of charts. The daily, every coin is dumping. If you lose this level, you're going to drop further down to $3. So you definitely don't want to lose 556 on RUNE. You said Land Wolf on AVAX. Wolf. I mean, that's the coin, 019. That's the same coin on yeah, this is it. Same one I did on MEXC, same thing. Chart looks the same. All right, everybody, I got to jump on out of here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. All right. A few other coins I want to talk about in my trading group, and we went over a weekly screen share last night where I showed all the coins I own, everything that I'm getting into, all the things that I'm doing, and also an idea for Bitcoin. Talked about it. This looks like it's going to get a bit of a bounce to the upside here and break that 200 MA. I see a move here for Bitcoin to the upside. Only a matter of time. I actually see a little bit of a flag there. That's why I always like having multiple windows to chart on, and I'm charting 2-3 times. I got 6 monitors around me at all times. I just really want to be immersed in the process at all the time and have access. I like the stand-up desk because you can just stand up and have access when you need it. It's absolutely amazing. This is how you know I have a good show. A good show always goes over time. You know, like we went over to 12:17 yesterday. Today we're at 12:09. But that's how you know we did it. We had a good show. Possible flag to the upside here to break that gap to the 200 MA. We didn't get it. That was weird. We didn't get it there, but can we get it now? Anyway, I'll keep my chart, my group updated. I am seeing this as a bit of a bear flag now. You see that? And it'll wiggle its way, either break the 200 or get rejected and dump. Seeing this, I want to see this little flag break out here on the 1 minute. There it goes. See, all you need is 2 or 3 of those. $50, $50. That's $150. All right. Sir, Cup and Handle is making on EDU. Thank you for saying that. Sir, Cup and Handle is making. Thank you for saying that. Don't say it again, though. Can you look at Gala, please? I have to bounce on out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on in. The show ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time every single day. All right? Every single day. Shout out to the Super Chats. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you so much for the $80 in chat revenue. It's very nice of you. Yeah. I'm looking for this little flag to bust. Come on, baby. Go. There it goes. Anyway, I could stare at the price action all day long and yell at it like an old man in the sea. Yelling at fish. Go, fish, go. I love you all. I have to go feed the camels back here. All right? But, yeah, they get thirsty. They need a lot of water. I got to go put out the water for them and get them ready. They eat carrots, too. So, if you have any carrots, the camels, out back. So, everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Wasn't the greatest trading day. Thursdays usually are not. I had some volatility. I could have taken advantage of it here and there. The short really was the play earlier today when we lost the 200 on the 15. That was a liquidity grab. Now we're kind of watching to see how they pick up the pieces. So I love you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is live. Bitcoin looks like it's breaking down right now further to the downside. That is a bear flag. And, cautionary tale, I would not long unless you break back above 68,300. I see no reason to long until then. Anyway, I love you all. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow. And with gratitude and love, I will see you on the next live stream.